ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामि ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणाभिगणतान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां परगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी की नामिने प्रभुपाद साहित्यम वैश्य प्रचारम कृतवान् साधु भगवत्पदाय नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती के नामिने श्री वासुबानी देवी दायताय कृपालय कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभु माधुर्य उजागर प्रेमणे रूपानी श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रह नमस्ते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमती सिद्धांत दांत हरिणे नमः गौर किशोर साक्षात वैराग्य मूर्ते विप्रलंब रसाम्बुदे पदाम्बुजाय च नमः नमः भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनाय गौर आविर्भाव भूमिस्थम निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरवस्य नमः। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे जयतम सुतपंगमं मन्मथर्यतमत्सर्वसुपादं राधा मदन मोहन दिव्य अरण्य कल्पद्रुमाद श्रीमद रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थ श्रीमद राधा श्री गोविंद देव प्रेष्ठानि विमानुस मनामि श्रीमान रासरसारंभे वंशी भट्टोत्तरगत्सन्मेन सुने गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रेष्ठना भक्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर स्वामी गौरव हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे भूतेर्महाप्रिया इमा पुरो विभु निर्मायसेते यदामशो पुरुषा भूतेर्गुणा षोडश षोडशात्मका सोलङ्कृष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे सोलङ्कृष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे सोलङ्कृष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे अखिल जगत गुरु वचन से अमार अलंकृत करि अर्चन ततुमार तव कृपा हमारा कत सिद्ध है दुनिया सब भारत जय कृष्ण मुखम करोति वाचालं अंगं लंघयति यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनचारिणे मुखेरभागे मनसे सुनिमादन करुणिजदासन् हरे बोल हरे कृष्ण। मैं कैसा छोड़ इसको स्क्रीन को बड़ा कर देना। लेट विल स्टार्ट नाउ। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी भक्तिर्भवति भक्तिर्महावीर्याणि. Hare Krishna. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness welcomes all of you for this most wonderful Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is 18 chapters, 18 days, 18 sessions, 17th chapter, 17th day, 17th session. Please accept the blessings of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Ji and mercy of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It's said that when the people of this world, when they elect us in parliament, we get a place. And when Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, select us in spiritual discourses, we get a place. Therefore, those who love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, can never say no to spiritual discourses. Therefore, those who love Srila Prabhupada can never say no to spiritual discourses. Srimad Bhagavad Gita means beautiful song of God. Srimad means beautiful, Bhagavad means God, Gita means song. I would say it's a beautiful song of God. It's a song of love from the heart of God, Sri Krishna. The love in his heart melts and turns into compassion, and this compassion turns into words and comes from the lotus mouth of Krishna. Krishna is saying, please, please, please come back to me. Be happy. Be happy. Be full of happiness. Be full of love and be full of fearlessness. Krishna is welcoming us. The 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is entitled Shraddha Pray Vibhaga Yoga, division of faith. The 13th chapter, Krishna says, Pashyati. 14th chapter, Krishna says, Pashyati. Pashyati means see. In the 16th chapter, Krishna says, Pashyati. 17th chapter, Krishna says, Pashyati. And in the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Pashyati. So we have to see. In the 13th chapter, Krishna says, see, but see the body, not only the body, but inside the body, soul and the super soul. In the 14th chapter, Krishna says, see the body, but see the body outside the body, the three modes of material nature. Seeing the unseen is the name of the game. We cannot see soul, we cannot see the three modes of material nature, we cannot see the super soul. But we can we can not see them with his eyes, but we can see them with the eyes of Bhagavad Gita. So seeing the unseen is the name of the game. So in the 17th chapter, in the 15th chapter, Krishna says, see inside the body, soul and the super God, and outside the body, uh, God. In the 16th chapter, Krishna says, see who are good and who are bad, Sur and Asur. In the 17th chapter, Krishna will further describe those who are not Sur and Asur, where does they stand. The 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is very simple, easy to understand, full of divinity, full of spirituality, full of full of devotion, and It's auspicious, beneficial, profitable, uh, and uh, just by hearing that, it will make our life simply uh, uh, blissful, peaceful, and wonderful. Mm. Before we proceed to the 70th chapter proper, we will just go through a small introduction to make this subject matter easy and simple to understand. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, that those who follow the Shastras are called Sura, and those who don't follow the Shastras, they are called Asuras. In simple words, in Hindi we can say, जो भगवान के सुर से सुर मिला है वो सुर है, जो भगवान के सुर से सुर ना मिला वो असुर है. So the Devi, but Krishna, Arjuna is asking, there are people who are not as good as Prahlad Maharaj and not as bad as Hiranyakashipu. There are people who you say that people who follow life as per the scriptures are called sur, but there are people who take up the scriptures and stop following the life as said in scriptures. They are therefore not sur because they 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 followed the scriptures little bit, so therefore they are not asura. So how can we understand and find them? And so not every student in this class is uh, getting 100% or 99%, or not every student in the class is getting 5% or 2%. There are students who get 80%, 70%, 40%. So uh, in this world, everything is not black and white. Between black and white, there is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So not everybody is sur and not everybody is asur. So how can we identify others? This chapter is very amazing and awful. And for better understanding of this and easy assimilation of the subject matter, the session will be taken in the following manner. Arjuna will be inquiring for those who are not following the scriptures, but they were following scriptures and stopped following scriptures. They are not sur nor asuras. And how to identify them? Krishna says they can be identified by the, the by seeing them whom they worship. That is in text 227. But Arjuna says, but everybody is not worshipping. There are people who don't go to temple, church, for mosque. So Krishna says we can identify them by the food they eat, whether they're in Satvaguna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna. And also we can recognize them by the sacrifice they make, which is in mode of Tamaguna, Satvaguna, austerities they do, and charity they give. In this way, the it will see that for every sacrifice, austerity, one has to say Om Tat Sat, that will give complete uh, uh, result for that sacrifice. So the uh, this is how the session will be taken. So let us dive right away to the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is very simply amazing and awful. Oh Krishna, I understand that two categories of men, Sur and Asur, divine and demonic. What about those who have studied the Vedas? Therefore, they are Sur. Yet they do not follow for some reason or another. So they are not they are Asur. But they fall between Asur and Asur. Although they have follow some kind of common religious practice with faith, which category they fall? Goodness, passion, or ignorance. So we can remember the three brothers, Vibhishan, Raman, and Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna is in mode of ignorance, and Ravan is in mode of passion, and Vibhishan is in mode of goodness. Ye Arjunavacha ye Shastra Vidim Utsrijya Yajante Shraddhayanvita Tesham Nishta Tu Ka Krishna Sattamaho Rajastamaha. O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scriptures? They were following scriptures for some time and they give up, but they worship now according to their own imagination. They are not as good as Prahlad Mara, but they are also not as bad as Hiranyakashipu. Are they in mode of goodness? Are they in mode of passion? Or are they in mode of ignorance? Are they like Vibhishan, Ravan, or Kumbhakarna? Vibhishan is worshipping Ram, and Ravan is worshipping like the Shiva, and Kumbhakarna is worshipping uh, Nidra Devi. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Vyasmani again says Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Sri means beautiful, Bhagavan means important, Vacha means speaks. That means beautiful, important person is speaking, and whatever he speaks will be beautiful and important for us. That means Vyasamuni says we should pay utmost importance, utmost attention, full one-pointed laser concentration, and stop doing whatever we are doing, stop thinking whatever we're thinking, stop speaking or hearing whatever we are thinking or hearing, speaking or hearing, and pay full attention, because every word, every sentence, every word, every letter is important and beautiful and make our life important and beautiful and simply wonderful. Trivida bhavati shraddha dehinam sa swabhavaja satvika rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shrinu. These people can be identified according to their nature, what kind of faith they have. According to the modes of the nature acquired by the soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. They can be like Vibhishan, Ravan, or Kumbhakarna. Now, hear about that. How to identify whether they are in Satoguna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna, or Arjuna. Yes, Krishna, I want to know that. Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddha mayo yam purusho yo yak Shraddhaya sa eva sa. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes, one evolves particular kind of faith. And the living being is said to be of particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. How can I understand in which mode he is at present? By the kind of worship he does, Arjuna. Yajante satvika devan yaksharajas rakshashim rajasa pritan bhuta ganan chanya yajanti tamasa janaha. Men in goodness worship demigods. They get up early like Vibhishan. And men in passion, they worship demons like Hitler, Stalin. In Calcutta, Prabhupada said there was a man who was worshipped in 1940s. He was worshipping Hitler because Hitler became very powerful, and he was singing, "Jai Hitler Hari, Jai Hitler Hari." So those who worship demonic kind of people, they are in mode of passion, and there are others who worship ghosts, hobgoblins, and spirits. They are in mode of ignorance. Like Vibhishan gets up early and do this puja, but those who are in passion, they get up in the daytime to sunrise. In India, South India, in late 70s, a great film actor MG Ramchandra became chief minister. People were so infatuated with him that they made a temple for him and used to sing MGR, glories of MGR. So these people are in mode of passion. And in 80s, there was a film actress called as Sri Devi, and people were so infatuated. They made a temple for Sri Devi, and they were singing, Devi ho Devi, Sri Devi, tumse badkar kaun, Swamini tumse badkar kaun. So they are in mode of passion. And there are others who get up late in the night and worship, goes to the graveyard, and they worship ghost. They are in mode of ignorance. Ashastra vihitam goram tapyante ye tapojana damba akara samyukta kamaraga balanvita. So, and after that, we there are people who does austerities and penance, not recommended in the scriptures. They perform it just for the sake of showing that they are great, out of pride and egoism. Such people, they give trouble to the soul and the super soul. Once again. Mhm. Sattvarupan sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddhamayo purusha shastra and there are others. Shastra vihitam goram tapayanti tapo jana damba akara samyukta kamaraga balanvita karshayanta sharirastam bhutagram ashe chetasa mam chaivanta sharirastam tan vidi asura nischayam. And there are those who perform severe austerities and penance, which is not recommended in the scriptures, and they torture their body, and thereby they torture the super soul. And these people are called asuras. But Krishna, there are many people who don't go to the temple, mosque, or church. They do not even worship demon or anyone. Then how can we understand uh, he is in which modes? Okay, they can be understood by the food they eat. Without eating food, nobody can live. By the food they eat, we can understand if they are eating fresh, juicy, good food, they are in mode of goodness. And those who are eating very, very uh, kind of tongue tempting food, tongue agitating foods, they are in mode of passion. And those are eating very abominable foodstuff which is not to be eaten. They are in mode of goodness. आहारात अपि सर्वस्य त्रिविध भवति प्रिया यज्ञ तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदम् imam शृणु. Nobody can live without food. We can find a person by the kind of food he eats, by the kind of sacrifice one does, by the kind of austerity he does, or the charity he does. So we'll see. Now Krishna will speak about four things. Yajna dan tapa, ahar yajna dan tapa. So what is the food in mode of goodness? Ayu sata bala arogya sukha priti vivardhana rasya snigdha stira hirdaya ahara satvika priya. Food dear to those in mode of goodness increases the duration of life, ayu, purifies the existence, sattva, and brings bala, that is strength, arogya, that is health, happiness, sukham, and satisfaction. Such food are rasmai, juicy, snigdha, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. This food is bought by good money, that is, that money which is attained by not committing sin, that is, that money which is not coming from killing or illicit sex or gambling or intoxication. Money coming from intoxication business, illicit business, or meat selling business is not a money in mode of goodness. So money which is bought from pure source and the food which is purchased from pure source and the food made by brahmanas and served by brahmanas in a good place, such a food is which looks good for eating. Such food is called and food in mode of goodness. Fruits and uh, uh, rice, chapatis, which is very nicely made and served nicely in the right nice place. Such food is called food in mode of goodness. What is food in mode of passion, Krishna? Kata amla lava ati ushna tikshna ruksha vida hinaha ahara rajasas yesta dukkha sukam aya prada. That food which is bitter, too sour, salty, hot, and agitates our senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, rectum, and anus. Such a food is mode of passion. Foods like foods like uh, foods like vapors, foods like chow mein, foods like noodles, foods like Chinese bale, chatpata, tadka, fried items, which is sour, salty, hot, गर्मा गर्म दो भैया और थोड़ा तड़का लगा के दो भैया. This kind of food is agitating to the eyes, ears, nose, and brings distress, misery, and diseases. This kind of food, this is such kind of foods are uh, for for those who are in mode of passion. Oh, what about the people who are in mode of ignorance? What kind of food they eat? Yata yamam gata rasam puti paryusitam cha yata uchistam api chamedhyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Food prepared more than 3 hours before eaten, that food is tasteless. Even the dogs are not eating, decomposed and putrefied, stinking, food consisting of remnants, untouchable things, meat, egg, is dear to those who are in mode of darkness, ignorance. People in mode of goodness pay obeisance from far. Person in depression or a beggar who is unclean goes for such food. Meat, egg, it, it burns uh, it burns uh, the uh, It brings one into mode of depression, anger, etc., etc. It is tasteless, decomposed, and putrefied, causes disease. Oh Krishna, apart from food, you can understand in what mode they are by the kind of yajna sacrifice they do. Yajna dana, charity they do, and tapasya, austerities. अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिदिष्टो या युज्यते यस्ताव्यम् इवेति मनः समदया सात्विक. Vibhishan, he does sacrifices to please Rama according to the scriptures as a matter of duty. He is not desiring any results or reward, just to please Lord Ram. But Ravana, he does austerity. Abhishan tayatu phalam damba artam api chaiva yat yajyate bharata shrestha tam yagyam vidhi rajasam. Rajas, Ravana does sacrifices for material benefits, that he should be the ruler of three worlds for the sake of pride. O Bharata, such a person should be understood in mode of ignorance. But Kumbhakarna also does sacrifice. Vidhihinam ashishtanam mantrahina dakshinam shraddha viharitam yagyam tamasam parichaksate. Any sacrifice performed without regards for the direction of the scriptures, without distribution of prasadam, without chanting of the Vedic hymns and remuneration to the priest, without faith is considered to be sacrifice in mode of ignorance, like Kumbhakarna. They Deva Deva Guru Pragyan. Now we talk about the austerities. पूजानां शौचम अर्जवम ब्रह्मचार्य महिंसा च शरीराम तप उच्यते. The austerity of body, like Vibhishan, he pays obeisance to Brahmanas, spiritual master, superiors, fathers, mothers, and keeps the body clean in the morning, and simplicity and celibacy, non-violence. But Ravana, anudvegna karam bhagyam satyam priya hitam chaya swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. The austerity of speech, Vibhishan speaks words which is truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also regularly reciting Vedic literatures. Manah prasada somyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samsuddhir iti eta tapamanasa uchyate. Vibhishan, he is always satisfied. Prapta hi prayapta hai. Whatever he has, he is happy with it. And whatever he does not have, he is not worried about that. Satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, purification of existence. This is what is Vibhishan. Shraddhaya. In this, austerities can be of three kinds, like Shraddhaya parayatapam tapastatrividam nare afalakankshabir yukte satvikam parikakshate. Austerity of body, mind, and speech as done by done by Vibhishan. He is not doing for material benefits, only for pleasing Krishna is austerity in goodness. But Ravana, he, he does austerity of speech, mind, and body. Satkaramana puja artam tapodambena chaivayat kriyate tadya proktam rajasam chalam adruvam. Ravana does penance to show for pride, for gaining respect, honor, and worship, that he will be worshipped in the three worlds. Such a penance is said to be in the mode of passion. Kumbhakarna does austerity to sleep. So that's why it's a mode of ignorance. Mudagrahenat mano yata pidaya kriyate tapah parasyotsadanartam va tattamasam udaritam. The foolish Kumbhakarna is torturing his body and he does tapasya like we hear about Bhasmasur. He is cutting his body, fingers, hands, legs, and putting in fire and to please Lord Shiva. Such tapasya is mode of ignorance. Charity, Vibhishan gives charity to the right person at the right time and the right place. Datavyam iti yad danam diyate anu karine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam shitam. Vibhishan gives charity to the Brahmanas, to the Vaishnavas in the morning on Ekadashis and Dwadashis without an expectation of return at the proper time, place to the worthy person is called mode of charity and mode of goodness. So, like when we give donation to the right person at the right time and the right place, we get unlimited return. यत्तु पत्युपकारान् अर्थं फलम् उद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टां तद्दानं राजसस्मृतम्. Ravana gives charity, but he gives charity out of some expectation that he wants his name with a fruity desires and grudging mood. Okay, take. On there was a man. He used to go to the temple. Pujaris used to say, you should give donation, you should give donation, you should give donation. So next day he came with 20 rupees coin in his hand and he's walking from the home to temple. The he opened in the temple, he opened his palms and found that the 20 rupee coins is wet. And he said, oh my dear 20 rupee coins, you are crying because you are going to be separated from me. You love me so much that you don't want to get separated. Actually, because of clenching his fist, sweat came and he said, oh, you are crying, you are crying. Oh, you love me so much. You don't want to get separated from me. So he again says, okay, even I don't want to get separated from me. And he takes the coin and puts it in the pocket and he goes. Once there was a man, he heard that one should give dan, Gupta dan, donation without any name. Then he called devotees to his office. He gave a check of 25 lakhs. Devotees were very happy. They went to the temple, gave it to the clerk. Clerk was very happy that everything was correct. And he said, Arey Baba, the donor has not signed. Go fast. So the devotee goes back to the donor and he says, Sir, you have written it is for ISKCON. The amount is also correct. So what? Then what are you asking? But there is, please, sir, understand there is no signature. Arey, what is this? You nonsense? You only said then a donation without name is Gupta Dhan, and that is good. So I did not write the name. Take this check and go. So in this way, people give donation with grudges. That kind of donation is what mode of passion. But sometimes people give donation to the wrong person at the wrong time and the wrong place. Adesha kala yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avajnatam tattamasam udharitam. Right. The charity performed at the impure place, given to at an impure place at the impure time at to unworthy people or without proper attention or respect is mode of ignorance. Sometimes people, it is Saturday night, they come out of the beer bar with beer uh, and meat in their hand, and they see a beggar sleeping. They say, "Oh, today is Saturday night. I'm enjoying beer and meat." So he gives donation to the beggar and gives take beer, a donation of beer and meat, and says, "You also enjoy life." So this is donation to a wrong person at the wrong time, and it actually leads to more pain. Whether we do yajna, dan, tapa, everything is incomplete. Uh, there is there is impurity. There is uh, uh, and that impurity and that incompleteness can be completed by chanting the name of the Lord. That's why we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare while doing these activities. The fault, incompleteness, or impurities can be removed by chanting. In so Krishna says, Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho Brahmana Trivida Smita Brahmana Tena Vedasche Yagyasta Vihita Pura. From the beginning of the creation, the three words Om Tat Sat, the three symbolic representation of are, are mentioned in the Vedas, and it is meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. That's why whatever activities do we do Om Tat Sat, the fault in that activity will be removed because Krishna is without any fault. What is Om, Krishna? What is Om? What is Sat and Tad? Oh, Arjuna, you want to know that? Yes. Tashmad Om iti udarita yagyadantapa kriya pravartante vidana satatam brahmavadinam. The transcendentalist undertaking performance of sacrifices, charity, and penance. In the word Om represents Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna. Tad represents that Supreme Personality that also represents Krishna. Tad iti anabhishandaya phalam yajna tapa kriya dana kriya cha vivida kriyatan moksha kangshabhi. So, without desiring fruitive results, one should perform the various kinds of activities, penance, charity, with the word tat. The purpose of the transcendental activities is to get free from entanglement. Tat means everything is meant for that Supreme Person. That Supreme Person is Tat. Now, Tat Sat. Sat means the eternal one, that person who is eternal. That means Krishna is eternal. So Om represents Krishna, Tat represents Krishna, and Sat also represents Krishna. So Om Tat Sat represents Krishna. Therefore, Krishna, who is faultless. So when we are whatever activity we do, if we take name of the Lord, even if there is fault, but because we are taking the name of the Lord, who is faultless, our activity will become faultless, pure, and complete. Sadbhave sadhu भावे च सदिति एतत् पर्युज्यते प्रास अस्ते कर्माणि तत्ता सत्शब्द प्रातयुज्यते. So sad means uh, eternal and that represents Krishna. यज्ञ तपसि दाने च स्थिति सद इति उच्यते कर्म चैव तद आर्तियं सद iti eva abhidayate. The absolute truth is the objective of the devotional service, and it is indicated by the word sat. The performer such as sacrifice is called sat, and all works of sacrifices, penance, charity, which true to absolute nature are performed to please the Supreme Person of God. Right? अश्रद्धया हुतं दातं तपस्तापं कृतं च यत् असद् इति उच्यते पार्थ न च तत् प्रेतय योन. Everything, anything we do, if we add this word Om Tat Sat, then and then the fault in that will be removed. It will be faultless, and it should be done with faith, and this should be done with faith. And if we do that, our life will be blissful and peaceful and good. And if we do not do with faith, then it is that activity is useless, and it will make us life miserable, and the next life also miserable. So in this way, whatever we do, we should do with faith. Srila Prabhupada, whenever he used to write letters, he used to write Om Tat Sat, that your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, because by writing Om Tat Sat, whatever fault is there, that will be removed, and it becomes pure and complete and faultless. That will produce beautiful, peaceful, blissful, and simply wonderful results. So in this way, people who are can be identified whether they are in goodness, passion, or ignorance, whether they are like Vibhishan, Ravan, or Kumbhakarna, by the food they eat, by the charity they give, by the tapasya they do, and yajna, dan, tapa, ahar, so and the worship they do. So in this way, we can identify people in goodness, passion, and ignorance, and thus we can help them to become better devotees. In this way, we can identify whether we are sur, asur, or in moderness, mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. And wherever we are, however we are, we need not worry whether we are in mode of ignorance, goodness, or passion. Let us take the process of Krishna consciousness and raise up from goodness or passion or ignorance to pure goodness, to spirituality, pure transcendental divine mode, Suddha Sattva, and make our life successful. That is possible, and Srila Prabhupada has made it possible. He made those who are in mode of ignorance, the hippies to happies, Rusis to riches, Chinese to minis, Japanese to Japan. He made people who are in mode of passion, like Ambrish Maharaj, who wanted money, he had a lot of money, into devotees. He made uh, studious people like Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, is known as Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who are very studious in Satoguna. They made them devotees. So the process of Krishna consciousness is available for everyone's goodness, passion, or ignorance. Let us take this process seriously and sincerely, and be eager to advance, and thus make our life successful. Please learn Prabhupada and spiritual master, and make our life, attain the goal of life, that is going back home, back to Godhead. We have very, very, very less time. So let us put 100% uh, of our 100% effort to chant better, read Prabhupada books better, preach, and please Srila Prabhupada, and make our life successful, peaceful, blissful, and simply wonderful. Hare Krishna.